Welcome back, everybody. November 14th, 2018, 5:08 p.m. And let's talk about what we are going to be expecting in the coming days as far as our officially named winter storm Avery. They have named this winter storm first named storm of the season, which will be taking place in the Northeast. Basically starting around nowish through Friday. That is when the end of this system is going to be pulling off the edge of Maine here. And then we have yet another one that you could see here moving down from the areas of Washington and the outside Pacific and Canada region. So we'll get into that as well. And we will touch on the California fires as well, as they are still some out of control, some partially contained. We're just going to go through some of the new stats going on with that situation. So, all right, guys. So we have an official winter storm. You could see here all this blue area are winter storm advisories. We have winter storm warnings in the pinks here. The greens are flash flood warnings, high rain rate warnings. The southeast has been saturated over the last couple days, and that is that system we've been talking about that has been coming up from the Gulf and then meeting with a cold system from Canada, and it's all going to take place and peak out here in the Northeast in the next 36 hours. Now, I was talking about Northeast Pennsylvania, being that that's where I am living currently. Our forecast has been changing almost on an hourly basis. At first, it was going to be a slushy mess for us for this storm, mostly an up north storm and a little bit inland as that low pressure wraps around and comes back through the Great Lakes, almost avoiding parts of northeast Pennsylvania and more affecting the west coast of Pennsylvania. But now the forecast has changed. We are expecting to see our first snowfall around 2 p.m. tomorrow, right around when Caroline and I have to go into work. So we're going to have to play this one by ear. Regardless, we're expected to get 6 to 7 inches in northeast PA, and that is basically where that cutoff line is. So parts of PA will get a significant amount of snow, and then as you move south, it'll be a little bit less. Philadelphia, 1 to 3 inches, give or take. We're going to get more into the accumulations in a minute here, but just wanted to show you how this system is now moving clearly up to the northeast. We have passed over the area of Texas being frozen, and a lot of those areas are now in Louisiana and the Mississippi and Alabama regions, and then everything up from there. We got the deep freeze warnings going on, and we actually have some snowfall to expect in areas of Missouri, St. Louis to be exact, and then Minnesota, parts of Minnesota with this whipping around. Once it comes back around this way, you can see those pinks up there already starting to come back down this way. They are going to be getting a little dusting of snow as well because of this situation. But again, mostly a northeast storm we are going to be expecting. Again, I like to look at this chart. This gives you a 5-day look of precipitation, and you can see most of it is out in the ocean, but keep in mind this is part of that tropical storm possibility of Patty, which is basically no more. I have that pulled up here. When you highlight over it, it says 0% chance as of right now, but it is still a low pressure moisture system. It is still moving up the coast, still bringing moisture with it. So whether that becomes part of this storm or the next one, which is definitely on its way, even though it won't be a named cyclone or anything like that, it will aid in the moisture in the next round of possible nor'easter weather that we are expecting in the Northeast. And then yet another one, guys. We've been talking about this for a while. We're going to be expecting a few waves of this. Now, this is a quick GIF I like to show you sometimes. This is what is coming now. So we are dealing with this. This is going from current time right now into the near future. You could see the moisture in Florida, Georgia, South Carolina keeps this as a rain situation. And then there's a line right here, and that's where we're starting to get a little bit of those totals in the Missouri area, Iowa, and then even Minnesota will get touched by this storm, like I said, as it moves up and wraps back around through the Great Lakes. So it's pulling that Canadian air down. We like to talk about that because when our jet stream dips down, that allows the air to come down from the north. When it rises up and loops down this way, that allows the warm air to come up. So we have warm air coming up this way, cold air coming down this way, moisture moving up, and then when it meets in the northeast, that's why we get these ridiculous snow accumulations A little bit early, in my opinion, for snowfall, and then to have round after round of it, but here it is, guys. We're looking at it as we speak. So here's another Doppler chart we use all the time. This is just showing the moisture moving its way all the way up from the Gulf. You can see it pulling pretty fast up from the Gulf. Pretty quick speeds. You can see this little curl off here of cold air. That is also what I was talking about before with those little accumulations that we're going to see in Missouri, and then up in Minnesota, you'll see how this curls down into Minnesota. You can see right around here we have a little bit of moisture. The colder the air is, the more chance for snow. That's how this works. So frame 200 shows this big chunk of moisture just about to head over into this direction, and then we're going to start seeing it swirl around. Now, believe it or not, the coastal areas of the Northeast are getting the lower amounts of snow. This is going to be more of an inland deal. Many areas of New York will see 6 to 8 inches. Like I said, the Northeast Pennsylvania area, they did put out a 6 to 8 inch forecast, but I'm thinking 3 to 5. Being that we're so close to that cutoff line, but again, it's been changing hour by hour. So basically what you need to do is, if you're in the Northeast, basically anywhere from Virginia to the north, as far as sleet and rain and cold weather and really crappy conditions for your work week, you need to pay attention to this on an hourly basis at this point, because the next 2 days, this is going to come and go, and some areas are going to hit very hard. Some are going to get a little bit more lucky. So we'll take a look at this on Tropical Tidbits, and then we'll touch on the fires real quick, and then I'll let you guys go. We could see here, this is actually, let me get to the newest chart. I don't know if they have the full week processed yet here, but we could see the moisture here building up. We could already see the pinks and the blues where it's a little bit cooler. That's where that little bit of 1 to 3 inches you will see. And as we move forward up the Northeast, you can see it happens very quickly. There's the central pressure right there, the low pressure system that's causing all of this. Remember, counterclockwise motion. It will bring this moisture into the coast. Again, the coast is actually going to get the less amount of snow for this storm as of right now. I know that Nantucket and these areas we talk about a lot, Long Island and stuff like that, usually get hit the hardest with these nor'easter type situations. But this low pressure system is just a little too close to the Chesapeake Bay for that to be the situation. And not to mention, the cold is coming from this way, dipping down. It's not coming down from Maine or anything like that, so it still stays semi-warm as the moisture moves in, but then it gets to about this area. That's where the cold air meets the moisture. That's where we're going to see a lot of the snow. And then, of course, to the east of the Great Lake here, one of the Great Lakes, you will see higher elevations getting the much higher inches of snow, up to a foot in some of these areas. So again, lake effect snow situations, the pinks are the icy / snow conditions. It's just going to be a giant mess for the next 36 to 48 hours. And now we can see a little bit after what's going to happen come Friday, when this thing actually passes off into the ocean underneath Nova Scotia. And without getting too far into the future, there is another significant system that seems to be being picked up by all the charts, and we can expect this around the Thanksgiving time. So a little bit of a break. It's going to be chilly in the Northeast. There's no doubt about it. The Southeast will be a little bit warmer. They will get a break from some of this rain, besides spotty storms here and there over the next few days, but nothing significant until around the 23rd. And you can see in the Gulf, this is what I'm talking about. We got a low pressure system up in Canada that's swirling cold air down to the Northeast. And then same situation as we're dealing with now. You're seeing that system go across Florida. It basically goes off into the Atlantic. We got the high pressure in the Atlantic pinning this against the East Coast. It has nowhere else to go but north. And as it goes north, there you have it. Low pressure system, very tight rings around it, which leads me to believe this will be a windy situation. A lot more green in this system, as they are expecting the temperatures to be a little bit higher, not allowing it to be a nor'easter snowstorm. Of course, that can change as we are looking at the 25th. It is the 14th now. This is 10 days away. So we are going to be dealing with Winter Storm Avery for the next 2 days, then about a 7-day break of just, you know, your basic every day partly cloudy, partly sunny meteorologist weather, and then come the week of Thanksgiving, we could be dealing with another one of these, and if the jet stream dips a little sooner than they expect, this could all change right here. So this is what's coming next. We've talked about what is already coming and already starting, basically. We've already got our winter weather advisories for Northeast Pennsylvania going from now until Friday around 11 p.m., so I can only assume the surrounding areas are beginning to get the same thing. So that's that, guys. We got our first winter storm. Winter storm Avery is making its way to the northeast as we speak, and in the process completely saturating the southeast, which they need a break from big time. And really quick, for those of you that want to pause, maybe take a look at what you could be expecting in your area. These are estimates. You can assume these deep purple colors are going to match the state college numbers, 8 to 12 inches of snow. This is a spotty situation all over the Northeast, as you can see. This is covering all sorts of states: Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, New York, Pennsylvania. Those are all the purple states which are going to get the higher amounts of snowfall, and then within those areas are where you're dealing with the 8 to 12s and the 5 to 8s. And then you can see the dip down into West Virginia here. So some of these areas could be expecting a dusting 1 to 3. But again, on an hourly basis, this has been changing. So depending on where you live, it depends on different wind currents, different temperatures in your area. A 10-mile difference could mean the difference in 5 to 6 inches of snow when you're getting storms of this nature. And then you could see these random purple areas by Minnesota, not Minnesota, I'm sorry, Missouri, Indianapolis, Minnesota, I meant, was the 1 to 3, and then the Missouri, St. Louis area, 3 to 5. So this chart is just an average idea of what to expect, is basically what I was trying to say there, more or less. So there you have it, guys. Winter Storm Avery. We got to expect it. It's coming, and we're going to have to deal with it. So with that said, let's touch base on these fires real quick. Some containment apparently in the Woolsey Fire, which is a good thing. It's about 40% contained, they're claiming right now, after over 400 structures completely destroyed, lives ruined. The entire town of Paradise has been completely destroyed. I'm sure a lot of you have been keeping up to date on this stuff. I just want to bring up an interesting fact. I know the two main fires have been the talk of the town lately, but I want you to take a look at how many fires are actually going on in California, and there are over 40. So yes, we do have Camp Fire up here, and then we have the Woolsey Fire down in the hills here in LA County, which is affecting areas of Malibu. They think they have this under containment to the point where they should not be in the panic mode that they were in. They have somewhat control over this. They believe that they have contained it enough to where they can stop the spread of it. But then again, with the Santa Ana winds, you never know in Southern California. Again, we talked about this yesterday, how they were allowing people back into Woolsey, parts of the area and the surrounding areas, and then had to re-evacuate due to a flare-up. So these flare-ups could happen at any time, and the proof is in the pudding. As you can see, there are fires all over California, not just the Camp Fire or the Woolsey Fire. The Camp Fire is still very much ablaze. You can get an idea of the areas burnt by this. Here's Paradise, completely destroyed, apparently. The entire town, just skeletons of cars on the road. Just unbelievable images from this area. It just looks like a complete war zone. Still people missing. Basically no change in the news as far as these fires, besides the fact that it's just a devastating situation, and no end in sight, at least for this fire right now, which is just very unfortunate. I can't stop thinking about it. I don't know what else to think about besides the fact that just picture yourself in some of these people's situations, and some of the videos I've seen driving on a road and the woods on either side of you is just completely engulfed in fire, and you're just praying that you can get off that road and get to safety. They were talking about people abandoning their vehicles to run. If you have to do that, you are in a dire situation. So you can only imagine what some of these people have been through. in these fires. It's just I don't even know what to say about it anymore. It's just one of the craziest things I've ever seen. So not too much detail there. I kind of just wanted to focus on that these are not the only fires going on. So at any moment we could be dealing with yet another major fire in California if the conditions stay there. We are expecting a little bit of rain to hit parts of Southern California, possibly Central California and Sacramento, that may aid in subduing some of these fires, but we have to wait for that to actually happen to see if it's even going to affect and aiding in the firefighters putting some of these out and getting California back to normal, if that's even going to be a possibility. But with that said, guys, that's what I have for you for now. I tried getting this one out earlier, so I have a chance to get something out later tonight. I want to try to post as much as possible. That is the goal here. And I'm glad that you guys are still here sticking with me. We could not be more grateful for you guys. Without you guys, there is no channel. So it might be bad news here and there, and we might be reporting on, you know, people losing everything they've ever had, but, you know, it's stuff we need to talk about. We need to warn people, and the more people that are in the aware, the more they know how to prepare for stuff like this. So, I mean, for whatever reason we may be here, we're here to help. So that is the main point. All right, guys, I hope you have the great rest of your evening. Again, it is November 14th. I will try to get another video out tonight. If not, I'm going to try to post something during a break tomorrow at work and get you some of this snow footage that we're expected to get. And again, for those of you out there that have any interesting weather footage, if you want to get some pictures of your snowfall, please send them in to the email address in the info box on the channel. You could tweet us, you can Instagram us, however you want to go about it. But yeah, we would love to see some pictures and videos. All right, guys, that's it for now. Take care. We'll talk very soon. Have a great evening. Good night. Bye-bye.